Hi, geometry students. Before we get started doing surface areas of three-dimensional shapes, I wanted to take just a few minutes to review some things about finding areas of our two-dimensional shapes. The first is a triangle. We're going to be looking at three-dimensional triangular prisms, and you're going to need to be able to calculate the area of the triangular base. So it's going to be the same formula we've used before, which is 1/2 times the base times the height. The thing you need to remember is the base and the height have to be perpendicular to each other. So if we don't have a right triangle, the height would go from the vertex, one of the vertices, across the triangle to the opposite base, and that would be your perpendicular distance. Now, when we do have a right triangle, things are a little bit easier because the legs of that right triangle are in fact perpendicular to each other. So those leg lengths can be the lengths that you use for the base and the height. Now, what if you know two of the side lengths and you need to know the third? Well, you know how to do that, right? Pythagorean theorem would give us this third length, which here would be 6. So, big thing to remember is that your base and your height have to be perpendicular to each other. With trapezoids, keep in mind that the bases are those parallel sides. In a trapezoid, we have one pair of parallel sides, and those are the bases. To calculate the area, we average the lengths of those bases and then multiply that by the height of the trapezoid. Again, that height has to be perpendicular to those bases. Don't use this slant length here. You need to make sure that the height you're using for that area is perpendicular to both of those bases. With circles, you need to just keep in mind the different parts of a circle. If we go from the center to the edge there, that's the radius. And if we go from edge to edge of the circle through the center, that's the diameter. And the diameter is 2 times the radius. So to calculate the area of the circle, simply multiply pi times the radius squared. And then the circumference is that distance around the circle. And we can calculate that either taking pi times the diameter, or since the diameter is 2 times the radius, we could also say 2 times pi times radius. Both of these formulas are going to be useful when we start working with three-dimensional shapes.